No, hey, how about making survival mode reasonable? I mean, the shit is way too difficult and way too time consuming.
Why is it when you get to level 42, yeah? When you get to level 42,
That's it.
like the CPU suddenly goes from like holding forward on the stick to like,
Neo.
oh, you whiffed the jab. I'm gonna DP that from
Yeah.
exactly the right range, or
Yep.
starts doing like setups, like crazy setups you've never seen before. Like I saw the CPU Lara do like a jump fierce that didn't hit it, like it like whiffed at the last frame straight into command grab, and it looked broken as fuck. Like you're never gonna be ready for that ever in a million years.
Oh yeah, it turns into the Mortal Kombat CPU. It just reads your inputs and it just counters it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Garbage.
But isn't like with the new update, isn't there like some new ways to get colors? Like with
you can pay for them, but you can't pay for it because the shop's not open.
Not even like trial mode or whatever it's called.
Yeah, so you can buy them with your fight monies. So you can do it that way.
But you can't get colors through trial just without any fight money involved.
Any way you get fight money, so trials, survival mode, playing online, you can spend that in the store, but you can't spend money in the store yet.
Sweet.
So yeah, and I think they're giving everybody access to all of the exclusive pre-order stuff. So like the Japanese pre-order colors and the battle costumes that we saw as well, that people had for Ryu, Chun, Kami, and Bison. Those are all available to people to buy with their fight monies.
I have a very generous friend that works for Event Hubs, but she's a photographer that lives in Sweden, and she gave me an alternate Bison costume code for
that won't work.
It won't work. Well, I mean,
no. It won't work. You can only use. Is it a redeemable code? Yeah.
Yeah, but it only works apparently in the European region.
In Europe, exactly, it won't work.
Yeah, but I mean, I still have it, and she's like, "Yeah, you can just give it away." So I don't know. People that listen to this podcast, if you guys want it, leave a nice comment, a nice review, and send me a tweet or something, and I'll give it to you.
Send me some money.
I don't need that fucking pirate Bison costume anyway. So.
That Bison costume's the best.
Sure. Cool. Why is he all shiny? Why is he all oily? Like, what's he been doing, man?
Why wouldn't it be?
And like
pleather. He's Bison, man. He could afford better.
It's patent leather, not pleather. Jesus. Jesus. Yeah.
I would love to give away the code though. I'm very OCD about these like things that I'm not using. I'm generous, you know.
We'll start doing competitions and stuff when we get sponsorship on this podcast in like 5 years' time.
Less than 5 years. 4.
Less than 5 years. 4.
Yeah.
Cool.
Street Fighter 5 will still be out though.
Just give it to one of the Jump In podcast Twitter followers. Follow us, and there you go.
No, they gotta work a little bit for it. I mean, come on, they're gonna unfollow us soon. We'd be like,
work it out. We'll do it on the next episode. Be cool.
Okay.
I want to go back to the tournaments, if that's okay.
Sure.
So we can't really talk in too much in depth about stuff that's not out yet.
It's true.
But Alex does look cool. I'm looking forward to Alex. So going back to the tournaments,
NCR
and final round as well. What do you think about all of these players that are doing so well at the moment, coming from different games? Now, obviously, we saw Sonic Fox in the final round. Reynolds did really well at NCR.
King of Fighters, right?
Yeah, and obviously Goichi at final round as well, and Kazunoko, who's technically a Guilty Gear player, I suppose. What do you think about that? You know, whereas the old OGs seem to not be anywhere to be seen. These upstart KOF and MKX players.
Just say it, Logan. Just say it. Be real.
So what do you think about these players? What do you think about these players from other fighting games doing so well?
It's great. Makes the community bigger. Hopefully they stick around, just like they did for Street Fighter 4. hopefully they actually stick around this time for Street Fighter 5. And
Mm.
I hope the OGs stop talking and actually just go back and train more.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
that's needed, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shady?
I don't really have an opinion on this. I mean, I play multiple games. It's not a big deal. I think as long as anyone can, if you play fighting games, you can learn any fighting game, right?
Yeah.
Why
I
do you
don't
think
really
it is-
have like an elitist attitude or anything like I've seen, but yeah, it's Street Fighter, and it's not like Street Fighter 4. I don't think
Mm.
the skills translate that well from Street Fighter 4 to 5. I just think as long as you have a good work ethic, you like fighting games. If you have fun playing it, you're gonna be good at it, I think.
That's why I wanted to ask you, like, what is it that you think is making these guys do well in 5 when they weren't necessarily doing that great in 4? What's the difference that you think?
I don't know. They probably just didn't like 4. It's hard to, I don't know how much they invested in playing 4. And also, the game just came out, so it's really hard to gauge how good people actually are.
That's very true.
I think
these guys
people are
as in
getting
like
away.
Brent, or these guys as in
Just anyone in general, just everyone. Like, I know the topic is about like players from other fighting games, but
Yeah.
I think Street Fighter 5 is just so it's easy on a technical level, but it's not very easy
situation?
just because it's very unforgiving and it's very read based, right? So right now I think it's just a toss up, man. It's just like anything goes, you know.
I mean, like, when I see, how do you pronounce the guy's name again? The King of Fighters guy?
Reynold.
Reynold?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, like, I think he took his mindset from King of Fighters and he just applied it to Street Fighter 5. So, I mean, he had the confidence in himself to learn the game and just try his best. So, I think with him, it's no big surprise. Like, I want to say the Street Fighter 4 players that didn't excel in Street Fighter 4, I mean, didn't excel, like, as in, win tournaments on a regular basis. I think they feel Street Fighter 5 is like a second chance and they feel more motivated. So,
well, if you look at the players that were up there for final round, it was Brent and Nando, the SF4 players, and both very competent players, but you wouldn't put them at the top of the pile for SF4. But there they were in SF5, and yeah.
I mean, these guys are beating people that you wouldn't imagine them beating in Street Fighter 4. Like Nando beat Ricky, and Marn's beating every single top player in the world.
Marn was really good at 4 at the beginning, also.
He's not a bad player.
Just try. That's all it is. Like Street Fighter 4 is a game that you had to just put consistent work rate into, and I think that is contrary to the way that Marn lives, if I'm honest. But he's got tons of talent, and I'm so happy that we all got to see that. Because if I'm generally, and this might be a bit controversial, but I feel like if Marn wasn't at final round, at NCR, if Marn wasn't at NCR, tournament would have been pretty boring.
Yeah, you could see that.
Like, there was a lot of it. The gameplay still looks kind of sloppy from a lot of people, messy. Bit scrappy, like you said. We're not seeing tight setups and people getting out of situations. We're not seeing stuff getting punished and people just doing things. And obviously Marn was an exemplar of that over the weekend, getting away with murder. But it was fucking exciting to watch.
I totally called that shit too. Like, I watched him play a couple weeks ago on the stream, and I was like, dude, you're totally gonna get top 8 just because you're so disrespectful. You play like such an idiot. I really think you're gonna steamroll and upset a lot of people. I knew he would just destroy people.
I think he could take it to like the next level too. Because
of course.
Like he totally embraces like this trolling persona that he has. He knows what he's doing is going to get punished once people like know the situation better. Like he knows it in his mind, but he just can't help but to do it. And he knows the crowd is eating it up.
Not to, right? Because like
except against Justin. Justin was like, "Get that shit out of here, bro. I know you."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that was more of like a player matchup than anything else.
Yeah, Justin's always had his number.
Yeah. And infill again is just like so solid, but even then that was close, a lot closer than I'm sure infill probably wanted it to be.
Was it 2-1 or 2-0? I don't remember.
Just the match was just close, like back and forth. It didn't look dominating like the grand finals ended up being. That was a whitewash.
I'm just.
What do you think of the pool of death idea? Anyway,
I think it was great. I
loved it. I loved it. It sends a message,
that's
right?
3 thumbs up from us.
A message.
Yeah.
You don't get top player privilege just because you're a top player. You sign up late, you're gonna end up in this pool just like everyone else. You're a normal human being.
I thought that was fucking superb, and it made Saturday actually interesting for me as well. Like way more interesting than a Saturday's been for a long time for tournaments.
Oh yeah, for sure. The first day is always kind of boring because it's just bums playing each other.
You just you just sort of dip in and out, and every half an hour you get a good match, and
it's background music.
Winners semis of pools or something, and some good players playing each other now. But yeah, that was basically like a ranking tournament. That bracket I think was stronger overall than any ranking tournament that I've seen in 2015. That was stacked, properly stacked. So watching that was really exciting. And they got most of the matches on stream as well, which is good. So yeah, it definitely made the Saturday worthwhile watching, and I think the views reflected that as well. They went over 50,000 views for a Saturday, which is really, really good.
Well, if I can comment real quick about how I feel about this situation, I praise the idea that if you didn't register on time, you shouldn't get any privilege. I mean, you shouldn't get any privilege anyway because Street Fighter V is a new game. We don't know who's the best or anything like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in the pool were like K-Brad, of course he's a good player, MOV,
F-Champ.
Yeah, but we haven't seen them play against each other. I mean, so come on, we can't give him any kind of privilege. But the main reason why I even tweeted NorCal Regionals and John Choi and everything, and I praised them because last year at the CPT, I'm not gonna name any names, but we're not in the situation yet where we can just be like, hey Daigo, hey Bone Chan, I'm sorry you can't enter the tournament because of rules. I'm sorry, our local community actually needs you for more views, for more exposure for our community.
Yeah.
Therefore, we will take you in less than 24 hours notice and screw up the bracket that has been up for a week. That happened so many times when I was trying to enter ranking battles, and it's a big deal. It's not a joke, this should be taken seriously. It's not let anyone in. And NorCal Regionals was probably the first tournament that I can remember that took it seriously and said, we're sorry. It doesn't matter how far you traveled. These were the rules. They've been up for how many months, weeks, or even, And it was good to see that. I would like that to be embraced by other tournament organizers, and hopefully
I think that should become a standard.
You can bet
become a standard.
You can bet your ass those players aren't gonna sign up late next time.
I mean, but it was also entertaining. So I mean, everybody won. The message was communicated. So good shit.
And look, at the end of the day, you're talking about seeding as well. Look at the players that ended up getting out of that pool. They're not the players that you'd have probably seeded. So it shows you in the end that I think right now as it stands, unless we're seeding, I think you should only seed on CPT points. You should seed on teammates and regional seeding as well.
The teammates part is a little bit tricky though.
Just not in terms of I'm not talking about, when I say regional and teammates and seeding, I literally mean just you're not in the same bit of the bracket.
No, okay. Well, at least not first round.
That's all I mean.
At least not first round. Yeah.
Well, not even that. I mean, it's not like there's teams of 30 players. It's not hard to put someone up there and someone down there. It's really not hard at all, and it doesn't unbalance anything really. I mean, EG is probably going to be the team that's got the most attendance in terms of tournaments, possibly Razor as well. But it's really not that hard to try and at least keep people split, and then you're actually properly seeding people only on CPT points, which is as it should be in the rules, I think.
This weekend is Hype Spotting, if I recall.
Yes, it is. Yeah, so that's the first UK event that's happening in Glasgow in Scotland.
Are you going to be there?
I will be there. I'm flying straight there from Malta. I'm not going to enter because I won't get there till the afternoon, but if they can scrape together a couple of pound notes, I will do some commentary and lose a shitload of casuals as well.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's being streamed. I'm not entirely sure of the channel. But yeah, if you follow me on Twitter at Winner Stays On, I will definitely be tweeting the fuck out of that this weekend. And yeah, we should have some good European attendance. Getting some stuff in, and you guys can actually see Problem X play, who's really, really good with Bison, who doesn't fucking exist in North America apart from like Moons, I guess, and Tampa.
But he's the best. He's the best character. How could he not
Is
make
he?
top 32 or top 64?
How's he the best character? Who said that? I don't know who said.
A lot of people. He's number 2 on Event Hubs also. Number
Is
1,
he?
yeah, number 2. And number 1 being probably Chun-Li. I don't remember. I just remember Bison's ranking.
Chun-Li is definitely the best character in the game. But
dude,
yeah.
Before we move on real quick, Chun-Li, how come no one's doing this? From full screen away, this is Bison. This is Chun-Li over here. Okay, spam stand forward. If you have V trigger and super, stand forward all day. And you buffer in V trigger, and if it hits, just super immediately. How come no one's doing that? Isn't that like the dumbest, most broken thing that you could think of right now? Stand medium kick from really far away, and then just keep pressing V trigger afterwards. Because if it hits, you can react and do a super. I've seen no one do that. I've been hit by that today because battle lobby has been open to the public, and I played like 800 Chun-Lis, and they're all hella good, and they're all doing that. And I haven't seen one North American Chun-Li do that.
Another thing people aren't doing is forward or back. This stand strong, the command normal, counter hit into super. That's so fucking good.
It has to be counter hit?
Yeah, it has to be counter hit. But I'm the only person who can do that. It's really good.
Can you buffer it?
You just do.
You can buffer it. Yeah.
You just do it and pump the motion. If you see the text on the screen, then you just finish. You just press the kicks. It is amazing.
Triple plink those kicks and get it out.
I want players to use her so that people can be good against her. Because I think there's just like this pride thing going on where they're like, yeah, we know she's too good. Let's just find ways to get around her. It happens in every game, And in Street Fighter 5, there should be a shitload of Chun-Lis. What's going on? It's not a.
I think that's something like that's something that happens a lot in fighting games. In general, like we're very loyal to our decisions. I don't know if they're logical decisions, though.
Yeah, I'm still using Bison, so I totally understand what you're trying to say. Yeah.
Like we pick a character that we like and we play that character, and we might get beaten and blown up and then switch characters, but it's never like I'll just pick a top tier immediately. Not a lot of people do that.
Well, it's the challenge, right, of overcoming bad matchups and playing how you want to play. That all factors into it, right?
Or like whether that they work into your play style, or you like the character design and all kind. There's so many things that come into it that people are so emotionally invested in. It's not just about winning, and I'm very interested to see how that carries on going, in the sense that as more and more and more money comes into the competitive scene, how is that going to bias people's decisions and choices in terms of who they end up using? That's very interesting for me.
Well, I think people just don't know if Chun-Li's really the best at the moment, and they don't know who is number 2, 3, 4, or 5. They kind of accept that Chun-Li's number 1, so they can kind of
Chun-Li is number 1.
Themselves. Yeah.
Ryu is number 2. Nash is number 3. Everyone else is underneath. Fang is number 15, and Rashid is number 16.
Rashid ain't that bad. World combo, son.
World Ethernet pool, yeah, it's the best.
Number 1 in the world.
He got nerfed down from 10,000 points to 700 points. And within 2 days, he was on 11,000 points. He plays on PC as well, by the way. Not that I'm gonna
Rage
make
quitting?
any
A lot of free time.
disparity. Yeah, he's the king of rage quitting. If you ever see him with under 100 win streaks, there's something wrong. He probably got disconnected himself. But yeah, it's
Nothing worse than playing against someone who you know is going to rage quit.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
why I don't bother. I haven't bothered playing online for so long.
That's now that attitude there, and I want to touch on that a bit because I really think Capcom have missed a trick in. I think a lot of the design of this game, in terms of like the input leniency and that sort of stuff, yeah, it's cool for the input leniency is cool for people coming into the game, but it also makes the online experience a little bit closer to parity with the offline experience. Obviously, there's other things like reacting to stuff and hit confirming off single buttons and all that sort of stuff that's in the game, which isn't the same. But the parity is getting closer to the offline experience due to that. And I feel like the importance of online ranking and laddering and that sort of stuff and league play in every other, esport game is so important. But ranked in Street Fighter games is like, no one gives a shit about it at all. It's like, oh, you're the number one ranked Laura in the world. Oh, good for you. You'll go to a tournament and get your shit pushed in by a Wolf Crone or something. Like it's a shame that it's just not relevant when I think it could be, and I think that would definitely grow the community if the online was a lot more relevant than it is. Because now, like, basically everything you do online is just a testing ground for going offline and playing in a tournament, right? So
there's a lot of things that can go into why this is not taken seriously. One of which is there's lag, and there's no nice way to put it. There's lag in this game. You can't react like it's offline, and even if it's offline, it's very iffy if you can do it. Another thing is this isn't truly a global online experience. Like, you are still playing in your region, like granted, I can play people I played a really good Nash from Vietnam just yesterday. I mean, I couldn't do it in Street Fighter 4, and I'm happy that Capcom took that step and did that, right? But there's also rollback, and there's I can't play you guys, so therefore you can't, just that alone, you can't really take the ranking seriously.
Yeah, but they have. I mean, in other games, they have like EU ranks and Asia ranks and North American ranks and Oceanic, Australasia, or whatever the hell you want to fucking call it, ranks. They split it up and into people that can play each other, and it works. Then they upstream it to offline events and that sort of stuff. And I just feel like it's a missed opportunity. That the fact that when you're playing online and you see someone that's got a 20 win streak and they're gold, and you're like, I know 9 times out of 10, if I end the round to win the game on critical art, I'm not seeing the end of that fucking animation. I'm hearing doo-doo is what I know. And that in your mind, it spoils the experience, and it just devalues it. Like having platinum rank or whatever. It's like, okay, it just means you played loads of hours on the game. Doesn't mean you're good, which is a shame because it should mean you're good.
Yeah.
It means you're at a certain level, obviously, because you've got to actually get the points. But who knows whether you're getting the points and not risking losing them by rage quitting? Because we know so many people do it. Like, and the worst offender for doing it, World Combo, is still up there. So
he'll be up there by the middle of this week, I suppose.
He's up there now. He's up there now. I'm sure he's up there now.
Roaming the streets.
Well, top 10, like, definitely. I swear he's top 10. But yeah, I mean, like, it just shows it doesn't really mean anything, which is a shame.